We're just going to rehook our thread back on here. There we go. Tie in two wing sets here. It's like roughly at the end of the second black section there. Just gonna strip off all the excess. This one, just a little bit into the weight. That'll do. I'm just gonna tie the hackle into the leg. Three good wraps in there. Get a half inch in. Hey Victoria, good to have you in. Nice relaxing Monday, just finishing up those ants we were doing the other day. Let's try that one again. Oh, what's different? The vise is actually the same. What's different is I changed camera lenses, and I think I actually have, I'm not sure, I think my shirt's writing is backwards, so I didn't invert the footage yet. Which I did during testing, but for whatever reason when I went live it went the other direction, so I'll have to play with that after. Yeah, slightly better macro camera lens so you can see everything a little sharper. Hopefully it looks better. It looked substantially better to me in test, so hopefully it's coming through in the live stream okay. But I'm sure it'll take a few streams and whatnot to work out the kinks. Yeah, it is backwards, so my right is my left and left is my right. But like I said, I'll fix that next stream. I don't think I can change that mid-stream. My luck, if I play with that, it'll make it worse. I'll invert vertical or something. But this is actually what the majority of people's live streams are backwards. If you'll notice a lot of live streams, you can't read the words, or like Turner will have to write backwards on his whiteboard or things like that. So this is actually the standard, but I do try to have it inverted so that all the lettering and everything is correct. I'll fix that later. You can see this. The red is backwards. But yes, I do prefer it to be the right way around. But for today, it will do. It will do. I'm excited. Tomorrow we're gonna get some live streams with the sockeye salmon. I'm gonna be out at Robert Haig Brown Park, and we'll get to see all the sockeye spawning. So that should be rather cool. Pretty sure I get cell service out there. If not, I'll have to film and do it up later, but pretty sure I got cell service out there. Might be a little spotty. But if we're lucky, there'll also be some Chinook and some King and a few other salmon species out there in the spawning grounds. Big chunk of them are going to be sockeye right now, though. Oh, I'm glad you finally got that set up. I'm glad you didn't let other people talk you out of it. You can't beat it for the price you were going at. You really can't. And also just remember too, even though it is a more entry-level setup, you're still miles ahead of what people had 40 years ago or 30 years ago. Even an entry-level setup now is technology is so much better in it than it was, you know, back in the 80s or 70s. And people still caught fish then. Oh, the spinning reel rod. Yeah, you were talking about that. Sorry, I misunderstood. There we go. One more ant ready to go into the bin. We're just going to rotate it until that head cement dries a little bit. That's okay. One nice thing about fishing equipment and this hobby in general is there's no rush at it. You can spend the rest of your life collecting things. There's no I win. I've collected everything I need. One, two, three. So that's our fifth one. Counting right? Yeah. Because that's your fifth one, you can go hang out with his friends here. Got one set of 5 done. Ruby. That'll do. Get a bunch more of these done up. Yeah, excited for the sockeye run. It's always a really good time. I have to remind myself that I'm exceedingly lucky to have that right in my backyard, and people come all around the world to see it. So, we'll make for an interesting live stream, I hope. And it's a good run this year, too. I'm not sure how the run's going to be like when, at the exact time I'll be down there, because it goes over a course of several weeks, but fortunately, even it being a good run, it's not probably going to be like the runs that we had when I was a kid. Those days are probably gone now. And I'm just gonna grab some more. I realize you can't read it backwards, but there's a label. Nice West Jeremy single strand acrylic floss. Pulled a little much there, so we're just gonna snip that in half. Save me having to play with a large strand there. And we're just gonna tie that back in right to the barb point there. Beauty. Throw in a couple half hitches. I didn't know that. I'll have to look that up. We're just gonna wrap this up to our halfway point, double back. Trying to keep it fairly flat. Throw that out of my way there for a second. Not using my not using my rotary right now. I just find I get a little bit better control with the floss, but honestly ain't gonna make much difference really. With the new camera lens, I don't have a... Well, I will eventually, but I lost my viewer in front of me. So I can't see the other side of the fly like I used to be able to. But that is okay. I'm just gonna old school it today. I'm hoping that the improved clarity and focus will help you guys see everything better. Hey Yoshi, how's it going, mate? Lost a strand of the floss there. That might be a little annoying next time, but that's okay, we'll fix her up. Yeah, having a good day today. It is my Monday on a Monday. Let's just relax and get some tying done. I want to get these rest of these ants done up. We do have a thunderstorm warning coming in for later today, so I might not get any outdoor chores done. We'll see. It looks beautiful out now, so I'm not sure where the storm's coming in from. I'm assuming the south. This piece of floss is a little come on, tongue, do the word thing. That piece of floss was a little bit frayed. There we go. So I'm gonna grab a new piece here. The single strand floss is kind of harder to come by. I'm not sure why. You figure it'd be easier to manufacture that way, but 3 and 4 strand flosses are definitely more common. I prefer the vintage floss I have. This newer stuff is a lot slicker. It has a nicer, well, nicer's I guess relative, but it has a much more robust sheen to it. But for the small ones, I might actually dig out some of the vintage floss. It has more of like a kind of blood red hue to it, which is what I'm going for with these ants. But after the polish is on there, it takes up the same color from the black thread ender. And again, just going to wrap this by hand here. Control the flatness of the floss a little better. At least I seem to be having more luck with it than the rotary. But that's probably more me than anything. Let's get a couple more in there. There we go, that turned out good. A couple wraps behind the eye to lock it in. Put a small collar on there, then we'll whip finish it in the same spot. Stand him back up. There we go. And since we're going to be covering him in varnish, it's not going to matter terribly much one way or the other. So 3 locking wraps there, and then we'll throw in 2 half hitches and some whip finishes to lock it up. That'll also should bury our tag in there as well. At least that'll be the attempt. Oh, I did Victoria. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. That's interesting. I do enjoy that kind of thing. Yeah, we're expecting, I think this week, 44,000 salmon coming up, so, for sockeye anyway. Should have a good, well, like I said, if I got cell service there, I'll do up a good live stream. We can sit there and watch the salmon for a while. When I was a kid, they were literally, no exaggeration, thick enough that you could probably walk across their backs across the river. It's not like that anymore, fortunately. But they would just be stacked up like cordwood. There'd be more fish than water. Just gonna put a dab of head salt right there. Soak in. That'll soak into the fibers. The varnish doesn't really soak in all that much. It just more sits on the surface. Okay, see you in a bit, Victoria. Thanks for stopping in there. Always a pleasure. Hey Ron, good to see you, mate. I was just on your channel before I started streaming too. Trying to rack my brain now what exactly I was watching. I think it was one of your shorts. Yeah, it was one of your shorts. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember at the last bit of the short there was a kind of pinky jig head, if I remember right. I had to watch it several times so I could read the text you had in there. But hey, got some extra views out of it. Okay, so we're just gonna let that cure up here for a second, and we'll pop it over. Got a little bit of a bump there with the thread, but that'll settle down once it cures. Yeah, we don't get as many king up here, so like just seeing them is cool. But they're all mixed in with the other ones. For whatever reason, it seems to be most of the king go up the northern tributaries up the North Thompson, up by Clearwater and Evola and that area. They seem to get more king that way, which is all good. But it is nice to see the king and the Chinook and stuff here too. But I'd have to say maybe probably less than 1 in 100, if not double that. We'll grab the one that's cured already. Let the other one cure up. Yeah, it should be fun. I haven't been out there this year yet. It's only, not quite an hour from my home, give or take. Although we're up in the mountains, so I gotta drive down and head up the river valley, but all the creeks and rivers are gonna be, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them. Any ones that connect to the main ones are gonna be full of sockeye and everything right now. I'm gonna try and use up all these little tippets that I got left over. Yeah, that'll do. Get our thread tied back in the middle there. Did you get any footage there, Run, of the fishing you were doing? I'll have to check it out later if you did. I'm not going to be fishing while I'm down there. I'm just going to be down there with the wife and dog. Can't fish in that specific, in the spawning location, so. You can fish at the mouth of the river if you got good enough hip waders that you can get out there enough. But it's kind of like a traffic jam. Not my style. Yeah, that'll do. That's a cute little wing. Happy with that. Let's see if I can get his partner in there. Beauty. That'll do. Other one's a hair shorter, but we'll give it a little tug, see if we can straighten it out. Can't make the other one any longer because it was just shorter. Hackle. Yeah, that's about right. That's pretty good. Happy with that. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't have a polarizing lens. That would be nice. Something to think about working my way up to, especially with the reflection off the water. You can actually negate that a fair bit if you can get at the right angle. But I mean, the sun and nature rarely play ball when it comes to that kind of thing. I'll definitely check that out on your channel later. So that was just on there before I came up here. Yeah, and every year there's always some kind of almost fist fight problem between people on the banks. We're just gonna trim off a few of these. This is just representing the legs. It's not to float the fly at all. Just gonna use some black rooster hackle. I'm gonna trim that off, trimming a little bit more on the top side just so we get about half a wrap in before it starts to spray. Be. Trying to be a little conservative with my wraps there because we don't want to fill in the whole middle, but we also want to have a smooth base to wrap the hackle on. If you leave it too much like an hourglass shape, then your hackle's going to bush out too much because the hackle fibers will be going left and right and all over the place. So you do want to have it just the base where you're wrapping it in. I'll see you, Victoria. Thanks for dropping in, eh? Hopefully you get to enjoy your hammock for the rest of the day. See if I can manage that last wrap in there. I think we can do it. Beauty. Yeah, that worked. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw 2 half hitches in. Let's down the hackle up a bit. We'll clean up our hackle point there. And some whip finishes. Got just a little tough right there. See a little white tuff? I'm gonna clean out. Beauty. There we go. Nice plant. Yeah, Ron, if you, I don't know if you noticed, I got a new lens set up today. It seems to be a lot sharper, and I'm able to zoom in and get a nice cleaner macro. But yeah, if you got any input on if it looks any better than last time, that'd be great. I'm just gonna have to play with it. Sometimes what I'm see on my monitors isn't necessarily what goes over the stream. I gotta adjust it and get it working proper. But I mean, it looks good to me from my side, so hopefully it's looking good for you guys. But I'm able to get a lot more clarity in there so everyone can see my mistakes even in better clarity. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I can even pick up like my, looks good to me anyway, I can pick up like my fingerprints and stuff now. Nice and clear. That's a whole other thing about filming fly tying, is the camera setup and the macros are its own thing entirely. I wouldn't say it's hard, it's just very different to have your lighting set up enough that you can zoom in and to the point where you can see everything you need to see. Still have a clear image for a very small focal point. There we go. Got that red to pop a bit. I can't recall if these are size 12 or size 14. One of the two. I think these are 12s. Just gonna rotate that a bit while it dries. I got a bit of a new mic too, and it seems to be a lot clearer than my old one, so hopefully that's coming through okay for you guys too. Slowly but surely getting little upgrades and improvements. Go a little bit longer here, it's still wet. Have a nice sip of my tea. I'll switch over to the next one. Ironically, if you ever, I know it's backwards, but if you're ever by Hell's Gate, they have some really cool fish ladders there for the fish to get through Hell's Gate. One day I'm sure I'll go down there and we'll do a live or film it. But it's pretty nifty, I have to say. Spot where the fur traders used to actually walk, or I guess walk for lack of a better word, but traverse the cliff edges there along the Fraser. And all those salmon that are up my area all had to come through that crazy place. It's really amazing that they make it as far as they do. Much respect. Now we're just going to tie in back to our barb point there. And we'll just bring your thread back up. And throw in 1/2 hitch here and we'll tie in. I'm just going to clean off that edge. Got a little bit frayed. There we go. Back. One more half hitch so we can set it in the bob and cradle. Come on, Floss, behave yourself. Got a little bit of a lump there, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get buried on our next pass, so we'll just make do with it. Go all the way to the end, all the way back. Leaving about a floss width reduction each time. Should have enough floss to get this one done. Maybe a little tight. Use my hackle pliers, just a little safety here. I want it shredding on me. It's already fraying a hair a little bit there, but nothing crazy. Nothing we can't handle. Floss looks so good, but that's a love-hate relationship for me. It looks so good, but it also can be such a pain when it wants to. You get the slightest nick. There we go. Smooth. Gonna be doing up some what are we doing? Tom thumbs later once we get these ants out of the way. That is a classic. Will work anywhere. Tom thumbs are murder up here this time of year, like late summer, early fall, when all the terrestrials are out. Trim that fluff off. Nice clean tie-in point. Spin out my thread. Bonk. There we go. That's what we want to see. What I'll do. Another half hitch on the front there, just to hold it in place while we use our cradle. Excuse me. A little more tea. Now we're going to wrap that all the way to the front, and we're going to leave 2 thread wraps and then rotate back. A little bit of a fray here, but I think we'll be good. So again, from the back, we're going to leave 1 width of the floss, and then rotate back to the front again. 1 width of floss, rotate back. Beauty, that should work. We're going to try and keep our thread collar to about 1 or 2 wrap lengths or width. You want to have a little bit of a black band there, but nothing crazy. There's the little type of ants we have up here have these red heads like this, and then a dark mandible. The little thread collar helps with that. Let's throw a 1/2 inch first before we go crazy with the whip finish. Going to bury the tag end with the whip finish. There we got just 2 to 3 thread length black head on the front. It's just the way we want her. Just enough to throw some contrast in there. Touch of head cement, keep everything from moving, and that'll soak in nice. And then we're going to be using the Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails hardener for our varnish. The hardener seems to soak in a little better than just a standard Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails. They are basically the same formula, except the hardener has a I'm not sure what the actual scientific technical term is, but it pushes water out and actually almost hydrophobic, I suppose, but this is probably hydrophobic anyway because it's alcohol based. That's how it hardens your nails. It helps to push some moisture out. That would be the only real difference chemically between the two. But it seems to give me a really nice kind of blood red color on the head, which I'm enjoying. Durability wise, they seem to be about the same. Which would make sense because they're almost identical. Now we're just going to rotate that for a moment just to let it set up before we put it in the cork with its friends. That'll just stop any dripping from settling heavy on one side or the other. We'll give it a good 30 seconds here and then we'll move on to the next one. We got two more that are already cured in here, so we'll let that one cure. It gets just a very slight, not quite milky, but hazy look to it when it just starts to set. That's kind of what I'm looking for. It shouldn't move anymore at that point. Popper in here. Go hang out and dry with its friends. Grab the dry one. And by the time we work our way back to that one will be dry and cure. See, this one's nice and solid already. Alternatively, if you're tying a lot of these, you can just tie a whole bunch of bodies. Even leave them overnight if you wanted to. Okay, let's see what we got for wings this time. These two little guys here. Yeah, that should do. It's almost perfect size. Beauty. Well, just past the butts. Just past the butt there. These are just grizzly hackle. Traditionally, they'd use the smaller tip ends of the black rooster hackle, but the ants in my area have a light gray wing to them. So we are going to use these guys. I just found that there adds a little bit of visibility to the fly too. Just a hair along there. Take a little bit of the curve out of this one. There we go. That'll work. Beauty. Yeah, those are pretty even. Just be just a whiff longer than the other ones. So just tighten it. And tie that off. Our hackle and tie off point, I'll bury that. So. About it. I nicked the veneer there just a hair. That's why it's white, but once we put the head cement in, I'll remelt that and it'll be perfectly fine. Again, just black rooster. You want something a little stiff. I mean, you could use a hen if you wanted to, because you're just imitating legs. You want something a little bit stiffer, so you get the movement that you're looking for. So this black rooster works beauty for that. Throw 1/2 inch in there. Or 2 anyway. I think for this one I'm just going to leave my bobbin down. Hello. Good to have you in. Now we're going to go for 3 to 4 wraps the legs here. One more should do us. Get it to stay. 2 binding wraps to hold it. And we'll do 1 more on the racus just to hold it in place. There it be. Two 1/2 inches, and we'll get our whip finish in. There we go. Get our whip finish in, we can put a dab of head cement just to hold that collar in. And try and get right over top of that varnish that got disturbed. It's all going to melt in place, but that'll definitely help to cure the knot, because that's going to melt right into the knot. Always nice when you can turn a downside into an upside. Now we're just going to put our varnish, or sorry, our head cement on. Collar. There we go. You can see the white little flecks of where the varnish got nicked by my half-inch tools. All gone, just remelted back in there, and it'll set real nice. I don't know if Run's still here or not. He didn't say he was leaving, but he might have popped out for a bit. Yeah, welcome in, Lou. Good to have you back. Yeah. Should always be a nice chill place for people to hang out. Got no drama, no crazy stuff. Just good tunes and some fly time. Can't complain. He's gonna go hang out with his friends here. Starting to get her filled in. Get another base done up here. We're getting there, only 6 left. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 left for that size. And then we got some brain went blank. Size 14 after that. These are the last of the 12s. These hooks actually worked out pretty good for these because I like the shape and the black lacquer that they have on them. It's not quite black, maybe like a really dark brown. Or dark bronze, I guess. But just perfect for a buggy hand. Just want to tie that in so our thread's just hanging at the barb point, and we'll go 2 or 3 back just to lock it in. That'll give us a nice base to tie the floss on. Go back up to our tie-in point, throw a couple half hitches in. Get 2 of those in, and we can tie our floss in. Using this old German floss, single strand. Just cut off the ends so you get a nice clean tie-in point. Work that all the way back. Just on top's fine. You can also tie it in on your side of the hook if you want. For this pattern, it won't make much of any difference. But basically, I want to tie it back to the halfway point. And then we'll throw another half hitch in just to hold our bobbin. Yeah, if you want an inline spinner jig maker, there, I wish I remembered his name, but there's a gentleman that has a absolutely bonkers, amazing fishing channel, and all he does is make, well, lures too, but mostly the majority of his channel is making lure jigs for making, you know, wire bending for inline spinners and glide baits and all sorts. I really wish I could remember his channel name. I went just a hair farther. I'm gonna back up just one. There we go. But yeah, he's got several videos on how to make your own DIY inline spinner just out of regular junk that you probably have laying around your place. So it would be, in essence, free. If you got some basic skills, some tools. Sure, if you did a quick Google for DIY inline spinner setup. You could probably find him. But yeah, highly would recommend a sub to his channel because he's got all sorts of really cool videos on. I like just watching those type of videos anyway, the ones where you're DIYing something useful out of some kind of garbage. Right up my alley. I really wish I could remember his channel name. It's something simple like DIY fishing crafts or something along those lines. It's not like his name or anything. He's got quite a following. I want to say, I remember off the top of my head, he's got at least like 60 or 70,000 subs. So he's been around a while. Yeah, I agree. The jigs are very expensive if you want a good quality one. If you're just making a handful for yourself, just make it out of wood and nails. Why not? I've been meaning to do that myself actually. I had a professional wire jig set up at one point, and who knows where I put it. But I have gobs and gobs and gobs of beads and clasps and spinners and blades and all sorts, so I should really get into that. Probably this winter when I'm stuck inside more. Hey, crappy kid. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, there'd be almost no point in me doing this without you guys watching, so. Very much appreciated. Trying to find where I set down my, there it is, my floss down and walked away on me. This is just uni single strand red. I did say I was gonna switch over to the vintage red floss, but I think I'll do that for the, when we switch sizes here to the 14s. Not a difference between the two. That'll do. Yeah, Crappy Kid, I was just perusing your channel, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I don't like, it's so annoying with YouTube, and you know, I'm subbed, I'm billed, and all that stuff, but like it almost never floats down in my feed, which is annoying. I have to go in and search out people I want to watch. I wish that part of the platform worked a little bit better, but it is what it is. It's probably not going to change anytime soon. We're just going to do our wraps back up to the head there, leaving about 2 thread lengths. That we'll use to make our head and collar after. All the way back again. Leave 1 width of the floss as we wrap up. And same thing on the way back. That should give us a nice even kind of football shaped head. Or I guess in this case, thorax. RB. Yeah, I'll do some tom thumbs later today. What are we at for time? Oh, we're still doing okay. But you're probably on my top 6 favorite flies to fish and tie. Definitely when I grew up tying when I was learning. But they just work. Just an excellent fly. And like the more beat up and nasty they get, the better they work. Even though I do try to make them nice and pretty. It's amazing how well they work once they look like just a few hairs stuck on there with some thread. But that's just the way of things. There we go. So we just got a little black collar on. Again, because the ants I'm imitating here. Traditionally this would be a straight up, right up to the head. But the ants we have around here have a little black mandible set, so I'm using that as an imitation for that. Just a little contrast there. Okay, we'll clip that out and then we'll add some head cement and then lacquer. The head cement is totally optional. I just prefer it. Just a little bit of extra security. Although this is probably one of the most durable flies, being that its whole body is covered in varnish. Thanks, Crappy Kid. It's something I've enjoyed ever since I was wee. Actually, here, I haven't ever shown this on stream before, so special thing for you guys, but I just happen to have it up here. Get the dust off of it. So we're gonna do a little story time while we let this set. Actually, here, tell you what. We're gonna get the varnish on here first so that it can set in. And then we'll do story time. As we'll use our time wisely. But I started tying when I was about 6. I actually started tying before that with my father, who was left-handed, and that's why a lot of my mannerisms for tying are of the left-handed variety, even though I am right-handed. But not his fault, he was left-handed. But I started tying, and one one of my mentors who unfortunately passed away this year, Mo Bradley. And I was lucky enough to acquire most of his fly tying kit, which I'm very, very thankful for, so I can pass that on to other people. But in any case, I started tying when I was about 6 or 8, like consistently. And he used to run a local fly tying TV show back when we had our local Channel 10. And you could call into the show and you could talk to him. And I called in and I asked him, you know, he was like my mentor, my idol at the time. And just, you know, he ran little fly tying classes for people. And I wanted to learn fly tying from him more than anything at the time. And I called in and asked if I could join one of his fly tying classes. And he crushed me by saying no, because I wasn't 10 years old. And I was just absolutely crushed. Because I watched this guy every day. Or not every day, once a week. It was on Sundays. And I'd sit there with my little black and white TV and tie in the middle of the living room on a little TV tray and try and mimic whatever he was doing. But yeah, when he said no, because I wasn't 10 years old, was the minimum age he was willing to teach someone. But they couldn't sit still long enough to learn if they weren't 10. And unfortunately, I didn't get to take that course for 2 years, but it lit a fire under my butt. And I started tying. These aren't from that period, they're probably closer to a year after. See if I can do this without dropping them all over the floor. But I still have a set of my flies from way back then. I would have been about 9 or so when I tied these. This one here is actually pretty good. Here's a humpy. And speaking of Tom Thumbs, here's an orange one in there. But yeah, this was a set that I tied, and I go and stick out little leaflets. This ages me because this is typed on a typewriter. But I used to sell my flies around. This was my little thank you. I know it's backwards on the camera, I'm sorry guys, but that was in all my, I used these little film canisters. And yeah, used to type those out on the typewriter, slide them in there. And yeah, he lit a fire under my butt. I started tying like crazy. I wanted to learn whether he was going to teach me or not. And 2 years later, I did take one of his courses. Yeah, those are my original flies. Kind of the only ones I have left from when I was little. Because the other ones got sold and or fished or lost or what have you. But this was just one extra thing of flies from an order I had from someone that didn't get delivered or what have you. Hey, show flies. Hey, you're a fox again. That's cool. Hey, Tom. Good to have you in. But yeah, that's my story time. I did eventually get to take his course, but at that point I've kind of been tying almost commercially for over a year. I still learned a lot. You can always learn. But yeah, having him say no to me was like, just crushed my little kid heart. Yeah, thanks for the subscription there. If you're not subscribed, feel free to click the button and enjoy some more fly tying. We're in here a couple times a week. Would like to get to the point where it's daily, but types in script, that's cool. I have a soft spot for typewriters, even though I work on printers all day. Well, not all day, but when I'm not doing my normal stuff, I fix printers. Worked for Hewlett Packard for about 7 years. Until they laid off 40,000 people and shipped everything to Thailand. Alright, there we are. Yeah, I have a soft spot for inkwell pens and all that too. I got my India ink down in the drawer there, and used to do a lot of artwork with India ink pens. Fun fact, I used to be a 3D artist. I used to work for Industrial Light and Magic. I worked on the original Toy Story. Back when that was a thing. Okay, we're gonna cut that back right to that white plop there. Just gonna be putting the wings on now. That was a fun time. I really enjoyed animation. Ever since the first Jurassic Park came out, I always thought it was just like magic, you know? That you could create something like that. Right to there. And being that I worked in 3D animation, I was also a draftsman. Did a lot of AutoCAD. And any artist of that sort typically does a lot of hand drawing, so I did a lot of pen drawing too. So I come by the artistic flair, honestly. That other wing is a little on the ragged side, but I think we're good. Using up all these little wing tips so they don't go to waste. But yeah, you're welcome to pull them out of a cape too. It's a little more challenging using the leftover wing tips because they're all going to be slightly different sizes from different parts of the cape. Not laid just the way you want them to. There we go. Yeah, I animated the scene in Toy Story where they are flying down the road with the RC car. I did all the trees and the pathing, and I did a bunch of the work inside the houses. There's, you know, like house plants and pictures and things like that. There are extras in the background. It was good times. Welcome back, Ron. Oh, who was it? I think Lou was looking for you, if Lou's still in here. Lou was asking if you were still floating around. Good to have you back, though. I'm just going to throw a half hitch in here to save that point. We'll wrap in that hackle. Again, you can see how the varnish got damaged there with the little bit of white on the top. Probably see it better if I turn it and see that white glob. That's just from the pressure from the half hitch. But when we do a tie-in point at that spot, the head cement will melt that and it'll actually make the connection stronger. Because that will melt into the threads. Now we're going to try and get 3 wraps around with this. Again, this is just imitating the legs on the ant, so we're not trying to float it. We're just adding some movement, and also it will push water, which this fish will key in on. Yeah, I don't think on this one I'm going to go for that extra wrap. I think we're going to call it good right there. Probably get a half wrap in, but it's looking good. I like the way it's laying, so got 2 wraps around the back side just to lock it in. And get the rakis one more time. And 2 more wraps again. We'll throw a half inch in and get our whip finish going. Okay, I'll get our whip finish up. Three or 4 wraps there. That cinched down rather nice. Happy with that. There's one simple but quick tip for you guys. When you're cutting off your thread, if you take your finger and you put it over top of your bobbin, so that you're putting pressure across the bobbin top, and that way you can put pressure on the thread, but also when you cut it off. If you just get in the habit of doing this, you don't even think about it. But put pressure on there, and then when you're going to cut the thread, when you cut it, it holds the thread there for you so it doesn't back, you know, the tension comes off and it just scoots back through. You gotta put your thread back into your bobbin again. Simple little thing to save you a little time. We're gonna put that head cement on. Got 1 or 2 pieces of hackle that are sticking forward there that I'll get with the tweezers once we're done here. There we go. You can see how that just melts that varnish. Gives it a real nice tight finish. As I knock my stuff over. Let's get rid of this guy. Come on, behave yourself. He's like, no, I don't want to go. There we go. There we go. Terry's ant. Really like that kind of dark blood red once the varnish and the head cement get on it. It'll stay that color too once it dries. Looks like it did break. I didn't quite get that. Let's see if we can do that again. Better? That's better. Now we're just gonna rotate a bit while it dries. You're a cable technician? That's cool, man. I did that for a couple of years. Did installs and stuff. I was a head end tech for a while. Yeah, there's a special charm for, you know, ink pens and fountain pens that you just don't get with the modern stuff. A lot of challenges that come with it too. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. It is a really simple little pattern. I mean, they're meant to be, I mean, it's fairly small. There's my thumb. This is kind of the biggest I tied here, but these ants do get quite large. But 12 and then down to like a 10. Okay, it's 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna take a break here and take a load of garbage to the dump before they close. Come on out. Come on. 1 second. Grab this without messing up the... Come on, Vice, why are you being that way? That's interesting. Got my vise loose, it's just not releasing. There it goes. Might have got a hair of varnish on there. They're using a lot of that. And there we go. There's today's ants. Got 2 more to finish up. Yeah, I might have to put a drop of oil in there. Seems to be working okay now. Yeah, it is sticking a little bit. I'll have to check. Yeah. Alright, cool. I'll fix that next time before we get on next stream. Thanks for coming out, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Yeah, I think it just needs a little couple drops of oil. I normally put beeswax in it, actually. Better to have it hang on than let go.